welcome to Mouse in the Mitten Trivia Pod, a podcast where you test your Disney trivia knowledge over a variety of topics. My name's Court and I will be your host. Our game will consist of 5 rounds of 6 questions, covering everything from your basic Disney knowledge to some unknown facts. Each question is worth 1 point unless otherwise noted. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mouse in the Mitten. And if you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and in the comments down below, let us know what your score was. Now, there's always new changes going on in Disney. We just heard last week that they are taking away the virtual queue for Guardians of the Galaxy and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So if you need some help or you want some help to be able to make sure that your vacation is the best vacation that it possibly can be amongst all the Disney changes, I would love to be your travel agent. All you got to do is email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com to get started today. Now, if you're watching us over on YouTube, my background might look a little bit different. I might even sound a little bit different on the podcast. That's because my office is officially becoming my daughter's bedroom, because in a few weeks we're expecting our second, so I've been moved to a different location. So we'll adapt, we'll overcome, and we'll definitely have some more fun still. But first round today, we're going to talk about a classic Disney Channel TV show, and we're going to start off by talking about The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. A classic show, and it has a lot of fun quotable moments with some very well-known stars as well. So let's get started here with question number 1. Per Disney Channel's usual standards at the time, how many seasons did Sweet Life last before its eventual reboot? Question number 2. What was the name of the hotel that the show takes place? Question number 3. What job does Zack and Cody's mom have at the hotel? Question number 4. Maddie Fitzpatrick works at the hotel at the candy counter in The Sweet Life. Who plays Maddie? Question number 5. First name of the 2 boys who played Zack and Cody. And question number 6. What running joke ended with the season finale when Mr. Mosby finally dropped the item? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, see if you can come up with those answers, and then I will return. Let's give you some answers here on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So question number 1. Per Disney Channel's usual standards at the time, how many seasons did Sweet Life last before its eventual reboot? Well, it lasted 3 seasons. That was the Disney Channel way back in the day. You get 3 seasons, you get a Disney Channel original movie. In the case of Lizzie McGuire, you get a theatrical release, but then you're done. Now, once in a while, they did do some reboots. Obviously, we have On Deck with Zack and Cody, which was a reboot of this. There have been some different spin-offs, that sort of stuff. But for the most part, you get 3 seasons, you're done. And that's it. And that's just what Disney Channel used to do. They still kind of do it from time to time. It's the British do that a lot. The British do that a lot with their TV shows. So it's just an interesting tactic. And I get it, because you're dealing with a lot of like kids and teenage actors and they grow up. But at the same point, if it's successful, adapt and overcome. Question number 2. What was the name of the hotel that where the show takes place? Well, it is the Tipton Hotel in Boston. It's a luxurious hotel and filled with lots of guests and lots of fun. Question number 3. What job does Zack and Cody's mom have at the hotel? She is a singer. She's a singer. She's an entertainer. So that is her role there, and that's why they are staying at the hotel, is because of her job. They could stay at the hotel for free, and that's where also the idea for Sweet Life for On Deck came on, because it was the same idea, just now their mom is doing the entertainment on a boat. Question number 4. Maddie Fitzpatrick works at the hotel at the candy counter in Sweet Life. Who plays Maddie? Well, that is Ashley Tisdale. Of course, at the time, Ashley Tisdale in a lot of different things. She was in Sweet Life, at the time also High School Musical. You also had her in Phineas and Ferb. So she was definitely definitely very involved. Slowed down a little bit since then. Obviously, she's gotten a little bit older, got a lot more going on now outside of entertainment, but still, this was one of her big moments where it kind of launched her. Question number 5. First name of the two boys who played Zach and Cody? Well, that is Cole and Dylan Sprouse. Now, if you just said Cole and Dylan, that's all we were looking for there. But yeah, those are the twin actors who played Zach and Cody. And it seems like they are polar opposites from their characters in Zach and Cody. And both of them have since kind of gone their separate ways in terms of what they're doing in the entertainment industry. Last but not least, question number 6. What running joke ended in with the season finale when Mr. Mosby finally dropped the item? Well, that is a vase, and the fact that they would always have someone catching that vase. So that was the running joke throughout all 3 seasons, is like Mr. Mosby would be usually the one who catches the falling vase. Once in a while it'd be someone else, but mainly with Mr. Mosby. And on the season finale of the 3rd season, he dropped it and the vase shattered. So just one of those things that all good shows have, is that kind of running joke through line. So again, if it's been a while, check out the show. It's again on Disney Plus. It still holds up pretty well. Continuing on now into round number 2. Round number 2 is our fast facts. This round is filled with simple questions that have simple answers. Today's category is resort mascots. Now, if you didn't know this, the Disney World resorts all have a mascot, in which it is a Disney character that they move around the resort. And if you find the character, you take a picture, you show the picture to the front desk, you can actually track it. And if after like 3 or 4 days and you've seen it 3 or 4 days in a row, you actually get a special free gift from Disney. It's very small. It's like a button or a sticker or something like that. But it's kind of cool. It's something that when I have guests go to a Disney World resort and they have younger kids like 4 or 5, this is like 3, 4, 5, they like love this. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to give you the name of a Disney resort mascot. You just have to tell me what resort is tied to that mascot. So let's get started here with question number 1. Ray. Question number 2. Hey Hey. Question number 3. Timon. Question number 4. Pumbaa. Question number 5. Edna Mode. And question number 6. Orange Bird. Now again, it is a lot of fun to be able to find these characters. Goofy's at quite a few of them. He's at all 3 All-Stars and Pop plus 1 more. So Goofy is a lot of fun to find in a lot of those resorts. But let's go over these answers here today. So question number 1. Ray, well, he is at Port Orleans French Quarters. I think you find that you had like a 50-50 shot there. It's definitely Port Orleans. Just a matter of which one, but that is at French Quarters. Question number 2. Hey Hey. That is, of course, the Polynesian. Now, if you weren't aware, the Polynesian just recently added to their pool, and it's a whole Moana theme, so it makes sense that Hey Hey would be that character. Question number 3. Timon? Well, that is Animal Kingdom Lodge, the Kanadi Village. I never can say that name right, but that is where you find Timon. Now, question number 4. Pumbaa? You would find him at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but in the Jumbo House. So yeah, Timon and Pumbaa, it makes sense that both of them would be at AKL. It's just a matter of which one is where. Question number 5. Edna Mode. She is at the Contemporary. Now, if you're wondering why is Edna at the Contemporary, a few years ago they redid some of the rooms at the Contemporary, and it is Incredibles themed. So that's why Edna Mode is at the Contemporary. Last but not least, question number 6. Orange Bird, well, you can find Orange Bird at Old Key West, and that one kind of fits. Old Key West and oranges, both a Florida staple, so that one makes sense. But again, it's something fun. Every Disney resort has a different character, so before you go to a Disney resort, check out who the character is and maybe have a little bit of fun trying to find them. Continuing on now into round number 3. Round number 3 is our connecting the circles. The way this round works is I will ask you 5 questions that may or may not be Disney related, but the answers do relate somehow through Disney. And that's going to be your 6th and final question, is what is that connection? So let's get started here with question number 1. What movie was the original show Inside the Tree of Life based on? Question number 2. Ford, Chevrolet, Chrysler, BMW, and Honda are all brands of what kind of mode of transportation? Question number 3. What movie has a sequel released in 2024 that set box office records? Question number 4. Someone who reads a lot can be known by what buggy iteration? Question number 5. What 2006 movie is Disney's version of Madagascar? And question number 6 is, what is that connection? I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, see if you can make that connection, and then I will return. All right, let's see if we can connect those circles. So question number 1. What movie was the original show Inside the Tree of Life based on? That was A Bug's Life. It's Tough to Be a Bug. That was the show in there. Still got, I think it's, I don't know, I have to double check. It might be done. I was getting conflicting reports on when that show was going to be done. It's going to be replaced by a Zootopia show, which we got a little bit of a preview a few days ago on the Instagram of Disney Parks, kind of what that's going to entail. Question number 2. Ford, Chevrolet, Chrysler, BMW, and Honda are all brands of what kind of mode of transportation? Those are all cars. Obviously, car brands. We're talking about the big 3 there with Ford, Chevy, and Chrysler. Had to throw in BMW and Honda in there as well. Question number 3. What movie had a sequel released in 2024 that set box office records? That would be Inside Out. Inside Out 2 came out last year, set a ton of box office records, and definitely was worth it. Question number 4. Someone who reads a lot can be known by what buggy iteration? Well, that would be a bookworm. Obviously, I'm sure you probably have some others as well, but usually when I think of someone who loves books and loves to read, we call them a bookworm. Question number 5. What 2006 movie is Disney's version of Madagascar? That is The Wild. Now, The Wild came out after Madagascar. It's based on a group of animals who are in a zoo that are stuck in New York City that want to break out of the city. And they're headed up by a lion, and there's also a giraffe in there. It almost sounds like if you've ever seen Bring It On, it seems like there's a coach who was, in Bring It On, there's a coach who was like going around and doing like the exact same routine with all these different schools. Feels like someone was definitely shopping a script, and both the Disney and creators of DreamWorks got a hold of it like, yes! And it all came out at the same time. Did not go well for Disney. Last but not least, question number 6 is, what is the connection? Well, we had answers such as A Bug's Life, Cars, Inside Out, Bookworm, and The Wild. The connection there, those are all either movies or roles in a Disney movie played by Richard Kind. Now, he played Molt in A Bug's Life, which was Hopper's brother. He was the van in Cars, and Cars 2 as well made an appearance in there. In Inside Out, he is Bing Bong. Obviously, everyone's favorite emotional character. He was Bing Bong. He was the bookworm in Toy Story 3. And then in The Wild, he was Larry, and Larry was a boa constrictor who had a good heart. So, yeah, Richard Kind, I saw in an interview recently, said he does not say no to movie roles. If you look at his IMDb, it is a list of just a whole bunch of different roles. Some that are really, really big. I mean, he was in Inside Out. He was in Cars. He was in Toy Story 3, like some big movies. He was also in Sharknado. He never says no, I guess. And he is a really good guy, really nice guy, and definitely at time brings a lot of really good humor. So check out his work. If you don't know who I'm talking about by his name, definitely when you see him, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's quite the actor, and he gets around a lot, and he's always fun in every single role that he does. Continuing on now into round number 4. Round number 4 is typically reserved for our movie anniversaries, and today that will continue. Today we're going to talk about the movie anniversary of an extremely goofy movie. Now, every time I say that I watched a goofy movie or extremely goofy movie, my wife and I have a debate on how good Goofy is as a father. I think he's a great father. She does not see it as that way, but I feel like he is, and definitely you see it a lot in this movie as well, how much he cares about Max. So let's get started with question number 1. Within 2, how many years after the Goofy movie did an extremely goofy movie come out? Question number 2. What sport does Max compete in throughout the movie? Question number 3. What fraternity does Max and his friends look to beat in the College X Games? Question number 4. Who is nicknamed the College X Games King? Question number 5. Where does Goofy work in the movie for his normal job before going back to college? And question number 6. What is the name of the coffee shop featured in the movie? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's get some answers here on an extremely goofy movie. So question number 1. Within 2, how many years after the Goofy movie did an extremely goofy movie come out? Came out 5 years after the Goofy movie. So to be able to get the answer there, would have had to say between 3 and 7. Definitely was worth the wait. Fantastic movie, so much fun, and it is just it makes you laugh, makes you smile. It's not going to win any great awards, but it definitely just makes you smile the entire time. Question number 2. What sport does Max compete in throughout the movie? Well, he competes in skateboarding. Now, there are a couple of other events. You could have also said street luge, which I was remembering watching this, like, who in their right mind did street luge? Like, that was beyond it. Literally, it was like luge, like you see in the Winter Olympics, but on the road, on concrete. They had barriers of hay. It's definitely was a wild time back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Question number 3. What fraternity does Max and his friends try to beat in the College X Games? Well, that would be the Gammas. Now, if you had said Gamma Mu Mu, give yourself a bonus point, because technically that is the full name of the fraternity. But if you just said the Gammas, give yourself a point as well. Question number 4. Who is nicknamed the College X Games King? Well, that is Bradley Uppercrust III, and that is who we see early on in the movie. That's who we see, the big smile, everything else like that. That is who is the head of the Gammas, and eventually we see the downfall of. Question number 5. Where does Goofy work in the movie for his normal job before going back to college? Well, he worked in a toy factory. Now, if you're like, no, he was a photographer. He was a photographer in a Goofy movie, but in an extremely goofy movie, he worked at a toy factory assembling toys. He eventually did a goofy thing and messed things up and got fired, and that's why he ended up back at college. Last but not least, question number 6. What is the name of the coffee shop featured in the movie? Well, that is the Bean Scene, which I think is a fantastic name for a coffee shop. I love the name and everything that was going on. It's just that coffee shop was definitely, when I imagined coffee shops when I was in middle school, that was the image I had. Now, is that what they're like? No, not really, but that was the image that I had. But again, if you're just looking for a movie that just makes you smile, makes you giggle once in a while, and just overall leaves you with a good feeling, definitely an extremely goofy movie is that movie. Continuing on now into round number 5. Round number 5 is going to be a round of Who am I? So this round doesn't have questions. Instead of questions, we have clues. And we are looking for one answer here. So if you are able to figure out who this person is, after the first clue, you get 6 points. After the second clue, you get 5, so on and so forth. The goal is to try to get this in as few of clues as possible. So let's get started here with clue number 1. I was born on October 18th, 1987. Clue number 2. My first roles include appearances on Firefly, ER, and The Guardian. Clue number 3. My dad is an electrical engineer and my mom is an administrative assistant, both at Diablo Canyon Power Plant. Clue number 4. My first roles in acting on stage includes Peter Pan, Little Shop of Horrors, and The Music Man. Clue number 5. Currently, my brother is competing in a reality TV show. And clue number 6. While I'm trying to continue acting, I'm best known for my time in musicals The Greatest Showman and all 3 High School Musicals. All right, I'm gonna give you a few seconds worth of music to try to figure out who that person is, and then I will return. All right, let's give you some answers as to who this person is. This person was born on October 18th, 1987, had some brief appearances on Firefly, ER, and Guardian, also was on stage for Peter Pan, Little Shop of Horrors, and The Music Man. His brother's currently on a reality TV show, and he's best known for his time on The Greatest Showman and all 3 High School Musicals. We are, of course, talking about Zac Efron. I honestly, I was just picking a random Disney person here. Just wanted to celebrate Zac Efron. He has gone through a lot of ups and downs, but definitely wanted to celebrate him and some of his great success. Plus, his brother is doing a great job on Traitors. One of the funnier parts of the season so far is one of the people got really mad at him and said, "Your brother's a terrible actor." And as soon as that person left, everyone's like, he's a really good actor. He didn't mean that. But it's one of those funny things. But Zac Efron definitely does a great job. Every time that you see him in a movie, you get one of 2 things. It's either gonna be really great or really cheesy, or a combination of the 2. But he definitely is one of those actors that is doing a great job. Definitely has some ups and downs going on in his world. But every time you see him, you know at least you're going to get a good laugh out of it. So definitely appreciate him. Definitely glad that he is an actor. His contributions to High School Musical, The Greatest Showman, and some of the other roles that he's played in are great, and I look forward to seeing what comes out of him next. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in this week. I will return next week with more questions and more fun. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mouse in the Mitten. And if you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, in the comments down below, let us know what your score is. If you're instead listening to us on Apple Podcasts, make sure you're following. If you're not on Apple Podcasts, make sure you're following us wherever you can and leave us a 5-star review. Now, again, there are always things changing down in Disney. If you need some help navigating those changes, or you just want some help planning your dream vacation, I would love to help make that dream a reality. All you got to do is email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com to get started today. Well, hey, my name's Court. The dog's name is Milo. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you next time.